For a lot of us, playing football as children made up some of our most formative memories. But what would your experience be like if you were ostracised and sent death threats just for trying to advance a sport in your own country? That's exactly what happened to Khalida Popal, who drove forward the Afghanistan women's national team. She was chased by assassins, framed for bombings, and cast aside by her own family. Her gripping book, My Beautiful Sisters, describes how she defied the Taliban and pioneered women's football in Afghanistan. In this video, I'll discuss the main themes in the book and give you my honest thoughts on it. In a moment, I'll tell you about her interactions with Keramuddin Karim, who FIFA later banned from football. Popal's story starts in the 1990s when she and her family flee Kabul and its Taliban rule, eventually reaching Pakistan, where they stay for 6 years. The Taliban wielded such power that before they left, the family actually burned all of their possessions to completely destroy any sign of their identities. Popal says that the Taliban stripped all colour from the world, and it was as if the city of Kabul was dead. They arrive at a refugee camp in Peshawar, Pakistan, where all you can see is tents just lining the streets. Her family eventually moved to a house built from mud. Despite moving countries, Popal hears of Taliban sympathisers beating women in the streets and kidnapping men. But by the time Popal had been in Peshawar for a few years, she becomes fiercely independent, starts playing football and refuses to wear a burqa. This is where the fire and passion inside her really comes to the fore. Her railing against the establishment just really shines through in this book. So much so that she develops a reputation for being loud and unruly. As such, her parents, who were actually atheists and pretty conservative, regardless of this, they actually told her to stop walking outside alone and to stop playing football. This, of course, was just for her own safety. Still, football is where Popal finds her identity and a sense of calm. During Taliban rule, it also offered her a degree of autonomy. To her, football is about communication, decision making, and standing by what you do. And there was just no other space for women to be able to do this. When she kicks a football against a wall, she befriends a young girl named Samira. This was a great moment in the book because Popal can actually almost feel Samira watching her before she sees her. But then she realises that Samira, who was from Iran, where girls are allowed to play football, she actually just wanted to join in the game with Popal. From there, the two formed a really strong bond and began staging inter-school tournaments for young girls with mixed reactions. A lot of girls really want to play, but their parents forbid them from playing, simply because of the fear of backlash from wider society and, of course, the Taliban. That said, Popal leads the Afghanistan women's team to an international tournament held in Islamabad in 2007. During the tournament, as Popal runs around the pitch, she states that she feels almost outside her body. She feels her confidence rise like a kite. Despite the Afghanistan team's excellent performance, where they actually finished second, they only actually receive money for third place. By the time they meet the Afghan president Hamzi Karzai, half the team have quit due to blackmail. Some years later, despite the stop-start nature of progress in women's football in the country, Popal joins the Afghanistan Football Federation as head of women's football and finance officer. It's there that she meets the tyrannical Karim. There was so much misogyny in Afghanistan that because of her position at the AFF, people just assumed that she was having an affair with Karim, who was the president of the organisation. Afghan families were shamed when their daughters played football. Her mum says of Popal standing at the organisation, "You're painting a target on your back. It's too dangerous." From there, her mum stopped talking to her. I felt so conflicted here because although Popal really cared about her family and loved them very deeply, she claimed there was times when she spent years without speaking to them. So there is a real juxtaposition between her love for football and her need for that safe family environment. Once she develops more influence at the AFF, she receives death threats and rape threats and was followed constantly. When she's travelling in a taxi once, an assailant actually crashes into the car that she's in from behind. A gunman gets out the car, but amazingly, Popal manages to run through the dense traffic and actually escape unscathed. Another time, she claims she was actually framed for the bombing of a National Olympic Committee building in Afghanistan. So she was quite evidently being followed, and some very powerful people obviously wanted her dead. Eventually, Popal escapes to Delhi in India, and later in the book, she states that Karim sexually abused players and held a gun to the head of one. She describes herself as crippled with guilt and says she felt she handed these women to Karim. It's then that Karim is banned from football via two clauses: abuse of power and failure to protect physical and mental health. Once Popal migrates to Denmark, she becomes quite disillusioned with football and begins working with asylum seekers. Because of the lack of stability in safe spaces, she describes the process of being a refugee as almost like just having your life on rewind. It's that cycle of just always starting again in terms of finding somewhere to live, building relationships, and developing a career. When she was in Denmark, she also liaised with FIFA Pro to help the coaches and footballers in Afghanistan actually escape the country. She manages to help them get to Lahore in Pakistan with financial backing from Leeds United and, would you believe it, Kim Kardashian. So, as you can tell, this was just a gripping and emotive read. Genuinely one of the best books about any topic that I've read in 2025. Her determination should be a light for everyone to follow. And even Malala Yousafzai has spoken about Popal's work. She called the book riveting, heart-wrenching, and incredibly important. As you can imagine, it's also a really upsetting book in places. Popal was just robbed of any chance of a conventional childhood. She could never be herself and was just really stripped of any identity. It's such a moving book and displays how far some parts of the world have to go to really accept women's rights and, of course, women's football. So I would definitely recommend this book to any sports fan. It's really different to anything I've ever read before, and it's just such an interesting read. Although Popal has suffered many bumps in the road, she writes, "We will never stop poking and prodding. We will never stop asking for the rights that should be ours." Thanks for watching me today, and bye for now.